Good afternoon to you, everyone. Today is December 9, 2023. You're tuned into the family station Love 101, and it is Sports Talk. It's been, as usual, an interesting, exciting week in the world of sports. And join me for the next hour as we go through as we go through the sports happenings of the previous week. Um, right. The name is Kathya. I've been with you in the gospel train since 10 o'clock, but we take a break from the gospel train so that we can head into sports talk. If you want to join into the conversation, you can by WhatsApp 997-876-997-3125. If you've joined us on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica, welcome and good afternoon to you. It is a fantastic Saturday. And it should be an exciting Saturday at the National Stadium later on. And we'll talk about the matches that happened. So we'll talk about the Champions Cup finals that took place last week. We'll talk about the Reggae Girls not qualifying for the Gold Cup. We'll talk about the two exciting matches and some bit of a controversy yesterday in the Walker Cup final. And we'll also talk about new champions being added to the Manning Cup. So if you stick and stay as we discuss these and other things, during Sports Talk this afternoon. And so we go to our sports highlights. All right, so we start off our sports highlights this afternoon with some athletics. Yes, athletics. We're talking about the World Athletics Awards. Some awards have already been given out, so I just want to highlight a few of them that have been given out so far. So the Member Federation, the Member Federation Award was given to Australia. And their reaction, they said, "We are so proud after having the opportunity for the first time ever of hosting the World Cross Country Championships, which we did in February in Bathurst. In addition, we performed very well in Budapest and our best result ever at a World Championship." So the World Athletics Award 2024 for Member Federation went to Australia. In regards to the Abbott World Marathon Major President's Award, that was given to 6 of the largest and most renowned marathons in the world, going to the Tokyo Marathon, the Boston Marathon, the London Marathon, the Berlin Marathon, the Tim Marathon rather, and the New York Marathon. So those received the Abbott World Marathon Majors President Award. Fair Play Award went to Ethiopian Gide. So and she is the world 10,000 meter silver medalist. She would have in the finals of that race Stefan Hassan would have fallen in that final, and Gide would have went to meet her at the finish line to ensure that she was okay. Hassan fell like about 5 meters away from the finish line. And so Gide just went to her ensuring that she was okay. Of course, Hassan had marks on her hand and stuff, and Gide was she was very, 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 very caring. And so with that, she won the Fair Play Award. Now, the awards as it relates to World Athlete of the Year and in terms of male and female, those will be known later on today. Right, so that's it as it relates to the awards given out so far, the World Athletics Awards. Of course, the ones that we are interested in, or most people would be interested in, will be for those of the men and women. But we'll hear those. Those will be announced later today, as today the awards would actually be kept. Well, later on, soon, as it relates to Jamaica time. All right, so we move on in the world of sports. I'm gonna jump over. I'm just gonna jump over and see what's going on as it relates to the football happenings in the EPL so far today. All right, so this morning Liverpool defeated Crystal Palace 2-1. Brighton and Burnley, they played to a 1-1 draw. Manchester United lost 3-0 to Bournemouth. Sheffield United defeated Brentford 1-0. Wolves and Forest played to a 1-1 draw. And Aston Villa and Arsenal, it's currently 38 minutes in that match. And Aston Villa is leading 1-0 from a goal. Well, yeah, they're leaving 1-0, and that goal was assisted by our own Leon Bailey. So an interesting match ahead as it relates to the EPL. Usually also we look at what would have happened in the local Premier League. All right, so on Sunday, Mullins United and Lime Hall Academy would have played to a 0-0 draw. Montego Bay would have defeated Portmore United 3-2. Mount Pleasant, dropping their first points of the season, would have played to a 0-0 draw with Waterhouse. On the Monday Night Football, Arnett Gardens would have defeated Vere 2-0. And Chivoli Gardens would have defeated Treasure Beach 3-2. All right, in the world of cricket, West Indies and England, they're currently playing in it's a series. Currently, the one days or the ODIs, they're currently going on. Today's actually the last match. The first match was on Sunday, where the West Indies won against, it's England. So it's England. So the West Indies would have won by 4 wickets. Then the second match actually took place on Wednesday, and the West Indies would have lost that match by 6 wickets. And today, the final day, the game was supposed to kick off at about 12:30, but there's been delayed due to rain. So the series is currently tied at 1-1 as it relates to the 3-day ODI series, England versus West Indies. As it relates to the NBA, currently, so the NBA has developed what I will call a interesting trophy. They call it the in-season tournament. And if you watch NBA, you'd know the in-season tournament comes on or is playing when you see the different types. So the different courts and things kind of look a little different. That's how you know that an in-season game is going on. So the in-season finals will actually take place later today between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Pacers. So we look forward to that. I didn't give the matches that were coming up in the Premier League tomorrow. So let me just do that. So in the English Premier League tomorrow, Everton will play Chelsea, Fulham will play West Ham United, Luton will play Man City, Tottenham will play Newcastle, and in our own local Jamaica Premier League, Lion Hall Academy will play Arnett Gardens, Treasure Beach will play Montego Bay, Vere will play Humber Lion, Dunbeholin will play Tivoli Gardens, and Waterhouse will play Palmer United. In the Monday night football in the Jamaica Premier League, Malines United will face Harborview and Cavalier will face Mount Pleasant. That's it as it relates to the sports highlights for today. December 9, as I said, we have lots and lots coming up in the show today. Again, if you'd like to join in the conversation, because we are about to have an interesting conversation, it's going to be 876-997-3125, or you can send me a message via our Facebook or YouTube page, and that's at Love 101 FM Jamaica Sports Talk. We'll be right back.
You're invited to join us for the 31st Annual National Prayer Vigil, Justice, Unity, Peace, Healing, under the distinguished patronage of His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, Governor General of Jamaica. Sunday, December 10, 6 p.m., East Queen Street Baptist Church, 25 East Queen Street, live on Love 101 FM, Power of Faith Television, the National Prayer Vigil, Sunday, December 10 at 6 p.m. Come and join us.
Get ready for another inspiring time inside Love in the Morning with me, your host, Jakal Dyer, this Monday, December 11. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are in the future Becoming You. Grab your cup of coffee and we'll start the day right with the Morning Coffee Pick Me Up devotional at 6 a.m. And then cruise with Love on your radio at 7 a.m. inside Drive Time Jammings with great music to lift your day. This week inside Being Jamaican, we talk about what Christmas is like for a yardie, a Jamaican in a whole other country. At 8:30 a.m. inside The Healthy Way, we continue our discussion on damaging effects of sugar. And then at 9:30, we wrap it up with something more brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center. Stick and stay with us. This Pick Me Up Monday inside Love in the Morning, 5 to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101. Celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
But that just get shaped up.
Are you ready for another exciting show inside Alive 1 to 5? This Make Me Move Monday, December 11. Get ready for the very interesting mental signs at 1:45. Then at 2 o'clock, we ring in the prayer bells of heaven with our prayer blast feature. 2:15 inside Body Talk, we look at some Christmas safety tips with Corporal Fennell. Then at 3:15 inside What Does the Bible Say, we continue our Christmas series. This week, it's all about knowing Jesus versus knowing about Jesus. What's the difference? All this and more will come your way inside Alive 1 to 5. This Make Me Move Monday, December 11 on the family station, Love 101. Celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Harold, do you have a minute? I need your help with something.
What that no?
I'm filling out this form from the company's office and there's a section about beneficial ownership, but I don't even know what that means.
Well, a beneficial owner is anybody that owns or controls a company. That could be anyone, a shareholder, director, or manager of the company. The company's office also needs to know the identity of all these people, including their occupation, nationality, date of birth, current address, and a copy of their ID.
Okay, I think I understand now.
One more thing. Remember, company's office needs this information when you're starting a company, filing annual returns, or making changes to the beneficial owners. They're also going to need you to maintain a record of these persons.
For more information, visit orcjamaica.com and bohubjamaica.com.
Your health
health is your wealth, so come we start the conversation. Make we rise and immunize all across the nation. The ministry is giving us the motivation. Get your infants routine immunization. Protect the toddlers from all diseases. Tetanus, rubella, whooping cough and the measles. Polymyelitis, mumps and the flu, plus tuberculosis to name a few.
Rise to immunize. Eliminating diseases saves lives. Visit your nearest clinic or health center for more information or log on to www.moh.gov.jm.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness with support from USAID and PAHO.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. And we get into the first topic that we'd like to talk about today. And that is, as soon as these people can see me, one moment here. Right. Let's get into it. So, as we would have talked about sometime, well, just before we started, or the Worker Girls would have started their bid to qualify for the Gold Cup. We know that there were issues with the Jamaica Football Federation and the senior team in their bid in terms of qualification. The senior team would have said that they're not available, and that's a team that would have gone to the World Cup. And so we pretty much had to hurry come up. I think that's the best description. Hurry come up a team, or try to put a team together. And we did. Unfortunately for us, we did not qualify for the Gold Cup. So our worst fears have been realized, because I remember just before the beginning of this qualification, one of my own fears, which has now come true, is that we would have been a team that would have qualified for 2 World Cups back to back and not qualify for what you would call a smaller competition, which would be the Gold Cup. The girls would have lost to Guatemala in a must-win game. They would have lost to Guatemala 2-1. Again, there are a lot of things to talk about in this match, but did the girls put on a good performance? They did. I still believe that they should have won the game in Jamaica against Panama to make this last game easier for them, but that didn't happen, because having been at that Panama game at the National Stadium, they would have missed a lot of chances, and I would have talked about that last week. But against Guatemala, I feel like we also created a lot of chances. I don't think that Guatemala necessarily played superior to our girls. It just was a day that the calls were against us. In what I believe, there was, at least closer to the end of the game, a clear penalty, which I think we should have gotten, and we didn't. But hats off to the girls, Marlo and the other girls. Hats off to them. I think they, based on the circumstances, would have put in a good performance, or put in good performances. Are there areas of improvement? Definitely. Do I think that the issues between the GFF and the World Cup squad will be resolved? We're hoping that they will, because it just means that we will continue to suffer, and we are suffering right now. Not qualifying for the Gold Cup in my head is a big thing, because we qualified, as I would have said, twice for the World Cup. So you can just imagine aside being able to qualify for the World Cup 2 times and a smaller competition, a regional competition like the Gold Cup, and the team not being able to qualify, it also means that there will be less opportunities for our girls to play in 2024. I mean, the repercussions of the decisions that would have been taken, starting from the firing or the non-renewal of contract of coach Lorne Donaldson come right down. I mean, we are now reaping those decisions, and I don't really feel like I don't feel like after the game on Tuesday that the JFF could really like be looking at themselves and be really like feeling pleased about what would have happened. I mean, it is sad. It shouldn't have happened. Now it has happened. How do we move forward? I mean, as I said, the girls will have less opportunities to play in 2024. And as an international side, trying to move up the rankings, it's not great. It's not helping. It's not going to help. And it is, for me, the most disheartening part that our girls will get less games, because now we're going to be like the practice squad. So people like who are in the Gold Cup, we're going to be like that team that they're like, oh, can they get a game against Jamaica because, they've qualified for the World Cup? Or can they get a game against Jamaica, the regular girls, because they are in a Gold Cup playoff spot? So they're trying to, get sharp against us, while it shouldn't be like that. And I mean, it's interesting to see how the women's football program will move forward. I've been hearing the talks about, is Coach Xavier Gilbert like a long-term plan? I don't know. I don't think it should be a long-term plan personally. I don't think that he has everything to make it a long-term plan. I think there's some things that Coach Gilbert is still learning, and to move forward, I just don't believe that he is like the best option. Is he like a good option in terms of being an assistant coach or something like that? Definitely. Because there are some good things that he does. But to take the mantle and to drive the regular girls program back to its peak, I am not sure that he is the person for that. And so today I'm when I think about the situation, and I thought long and hard as to how I would have talked about this today. I'm just so disappointed. I'm really, 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 really so disappointed in how everything kind of went down, and we kind of just went on a spiral, and it just ended nowhere. But then it's just it's just interesting. I mean, we will see what will happen in terms of the presidency. I don't think anything is going to change between you and myself, but I don't think between you and me, I don't think anything is going to change. I think Michael Ricketts will return as JFF president, because whilst the talks will be, okay, the girls didn't qualify for Gold Cup, the talks will also be that the Reggae Boys qualified for Copa America, which is a big thing. So it's just like, boy, it's just one of those things. And we just, I guess, have to move on. I don't even know what in terms of how to move on, because there is just definitely the disappointment, and I'm sure you guys can hear the disappointment in my voice, because it is just disappointing that we didn't even qualify for a playoff spot. The Reggae girls, we worked so hard. The girls worked so hard. We got to 2 World Cups and just can't qualify for this regional competition. It's just so sad. It's sad. In other news, the Reggae Boys would have qualified for the Copa America, and they would have been drawn in Group B. Mexico, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Jamaica have been drawn in Group B of the Copa America. You know, I kind of feel a little strange about Jamaica being drawn against Mexico again. I'm like, jeez, how many times are we gonna play Mexico? Ecuador, Venezuela. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We were hoping, or I was hoping, that we would get to play against one of the bigger squads in the Copa America. I don't know if I'm the only one out there with this feeling of wanting to play one of the biggest squads. I mean, we've played Mexico 1,000 times. I would have appreciated if another opponent was in the group. But those are the teams, as I said, the Copa America that comes up in 2024. So we'll see how our boys will perform. We'll see how it is that Coach Hallgrimson will put together the squad to get far into this Copa America competition. See how many games you can organize for the boys to have between now and the beginning of the competition. I mean, it is going to be interesting as to how we're going to maneuver this sort of competition. It's our first time in the Copa America, so it will be interesting to see how things will go in this competition. Good afternoon to everybody on Facebook and YouTube. Right. As I said, I sound like this because I'm just disappointed as it relates to the Reggae Girls. It's no hard feelings against any one particular, because, as I said, the girls did put up a good performance in all the games that I would have watched. Should we have put away chances? Yes. But all in all, I think a squad that was put together literally at the last minute, that they did fairly well. But we'll talk. Right. So, yeah. Disappointment. I don't think, I really have no other words, but just words of this, but just the feeling of disappointment. But we move on, we press on. We look to the future. We look to see what will happen with the Reggae Girls program, and we look towards what the Reggae Boys and how they will perform as it relates to the Copa America. So, yeah, right. So, that's as it relates to that. More exciting things will come up on the other side of the break. You're tuning to Sports Talk right here on the family station Love 101. We'll be right back.
Get qualified in Stage 1 Practical Nursing in only 6 months with City and Guild certificates at IIRQ Academy, located at 32 Hope Road, Kingston 10. Start online and face-to-face classes very soon and get qualified for local and overseas employment at affordable rates. Also available 7 to 9 months international certificate and diplomas in Level 3 certificate in early childhood education, Level 5 diploma in business management, pharmacy technician, medical assistant, medical lab technician, diploma in practical nursing, and travel tourism, hospitality, and entertainment. Register this month and get 2 subjects with your course for free. Call us at 876-322-4029 or 630-1084.
You're invited to join us for the 31st Annual National Prayer Vigil, Justice, Unity, Peace, Healing, under the distinguished patronage of His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, Governor General of Jamaica. Sunday, December 10, 6 p.m., East Queen Street Baptist Church, 25 East Queen Street. Live on Love 101 FM, Power of Faith Television, the National Prayer Vigil, Sunday, December 10 at 6 p.m. Come and join us.
Get ready for another inspiring time inside Love in the Morning with me, your host, Jakal Dyer, this Monday, December 11. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are in the feature Becoming You. Grab your cup of coffee and we will start the day right with the Morning Coffee Pick Me Up devotional at 6 a.m. And then cruise with love on your radio at 7 a.m. inside Drive Time Jammings with great music to lift your day. This week inside Being Jamaican, we talk about what Christmas is like for a Yardie, a Jamaican in a whole other country. At 8:30 a.m. inside the Healthy Way, we continue our discussion on damaging effects of sugar. And then at 9:30, we wrap it up with something more brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center. Stick and stay with us. This Pick Me Up Monday inside Love in the Morning, 5 to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101. Celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
But that just get shaped up. So if
Are you ready for another exciting show inside Alive 1 to 5? This Make Me Move Monday, December 11. Get ready for the brain testing mental science at 1:45. Then at 2 o'clock, we ring in the prayer bells of heaven with our prayer blast feature. 2:15 inside Body Talk, we look at some Christmas safety tips with Corporal Fennell. Then at 3:15 inside What Does the Bible Say, we continue our Christmas series. This week, it's all about knowing Jesus versus knowing about Jesus. What's the difference? All this and more will come your way inside Alive 1 to 5. This Make Me Move Monday, December 11 on the family station, Love 101. Celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101. So, you guys know I get increasingly interested and excited as it relates to schoolboy football. As I would have discussed in the show last week, the season is coming to an end. However, we had over the past weekend, in 2 weeks, so last week, from last week Saturday until last night, we would have crowned 3 of the 5 champions so far in the schoolboy football. So let me start with the one that happened last week. Yeah, you remember that match that I said, do not miss the match? Yeah, do not miss the match. I hope you did not miss last week's match, Glenmuir against Clarendon College in the Champions Cup, Water Champions Cup. Let me tell you, that game lived up to every bill that we anticipated that game to be. It gave all the emotions, all the excitement, and just the level of football from these two powerful squads. I mean, Glenmere was successful actually in that match. Just in case you're wondering, yes, Glenmere won that match. But I just want to talk about in terms of that match. Literally kept me on the edge of my seat for the entire 90 minutes. I know Sidan and I would have discussed last week what we were looking forward to in the match, and I believe every single thing that we said, okay, we're looking forward to, this is what I wanted to happen. Of course, if you listened last week's program, you would have known that I would have particularly wanted Glenmuir to win, as the two teams will meet this afternoon or this evening again in the Da Costa Cup finals, and I particularly wanted Glenmuir to win because I felt like if Clarendon win, that they would have become unstoppable. Listen, the 5-goal game, so Glenmuir would have won 3-2, but in the last up to the last 10 minutes of the game, you couldn't. I mean, honestly, Clarendon College got the chances to win the game. I'm not gonna say. Glenmore played really well, but Clarendon was just unfortunate. Like in the last 10 minutes, they probably had, or even in the last 5 minutes, they probably had shots hitting the side of the goalpost and going over the crossbar and the two sides of the goalpost actually. And as I said, the match lived up to every bit that we expected it to be. Very interesting, a very wonderful match. I enjoyed all the goals in that match, all 5 goals. To me, and even having watched the other 2 finals that would have taken place yesterday, would have been the best match so far this season. Yeah, best match so far this season, definitely that Champions Cup final. And, just looking forward to what will happen this afternoon. But before we get there, before we look forward to what will happen, because we'll talk about that in the final segment of this show today, we are going to be talking about the Walker Cup and Manning Cup finals, and those would have taken place yesterday at the National Stadium. And I just want to say, we can see better quality football from our youngsters when they play on good surfaces or on a good surface. And I mean, the National Stadium is not in tip-top great shape, but it's a better surface than most of the other surfaces in the island. And so seeing the youngsters getting an opportunity to play on a good surface showed different skills. Right. So let's start with the Walker Cup, because I have a few thoughts on that one. So for the Walker Cup, St. Andrew Technical would have played Jamaica College. And it was a game filled. Maybe that's when the game was filled with controversy, but it was a game that ended with controversy. It's so the teams would have played to a 1-1 draw. Stats would have scored in the first half. JC scored in the second half. Both teams played good football, interesting football. I think for most of the game, Stats dominated the game, which I expected. The Stats team that played yesterday, I'm sure if that team played in terms of how the team played, not the team, because it's the same team members, but if the team played to its potential like it did yesterday, I'm sure they would have been in the Manning Cup quarter or semifinals, and that's just it. They played very good football yesterday. JC also played very good football yesterday, and the match it had its highs, it had its lows, and we're gonna talk about the low point now. So the match would have been 1-1 full time, and then it went to penalties. In the first 5 penalties, both teams would have missed 1 penalty, and so it went to sudden death. So it means if you miss, the other side would win. Cool. At the second penalty in the sudden death, which have been the 7th penalty taken, JC would have missed a penalty. However, that penalty was called back. And this is where things got interesting. Okay, so the penalty was taken. The ball was still in motion when the penalty was taken. The penalty was saved by the Stats keeper. The JC player then you went to the referee because now he's saying, okay, the ball was still moving, or no, he's complaining that the ball was still moving, and the referee was looking to the second official, who went to the fourth official, and then they decided to retake the penalty. To protest, that's the word I'm looking for. The JC player protested because in my head, he was not protesting because he missed the penalty. He was protesting because in his head, no, the ball was moving and he should have stopped the ball. And that is where I'm at as it relates to this situation. Now, as the kicker, the taker of the penalty, outside of the referee doing their job to ensure that everything is in place, as the person who is about to take the penalty, it is your responsibility to ensure that the ball is grounded, meaning that it's not moving. Now, if you decide, having now realized that the ball is moving, and still take the penalty, you miss the penalty, I don't know. You can let me know, 997-3125, or on Facebook and YouTube. You can let me know, because in my head, if the penalty was not missed, if the JC player had scored the penalty, I don't think the penalty would have been retaken. And it's on that premise that I'm saying it was the responsibility of the JC player to ensure that the ball was not moving before he kicked it. So outside of the responsibility of the referee, the person who is about to kick the ball also has that responsibility to ensure that the ball was not moving before he kicked it. And in that, I think the incorrect decision was made. Yes, I'm going to say it. The incorrect decision was made to retake the penalty. So the penalty was retaken. He ended up scoring. And then Stats would have missed the next penalty. And so JC ended up winning the match, obviously under controversial circumstances. And I'm still saying, I think the JC player would have been at fault, because it is your responsibility to ensure, as a person who's about to kick the penalty, kick the ball, that the ball is grounded and it's not moving. Even if the referee doesn't see, it is your responsibility. And so, as I said, we wouldn't be talking about this today. It wouldn't be a moment of controversy if the ball would have ended up at the back of the net on the first try. Wouldn't be talking about it. He'd be running off and celebrating. But because the penalty was saved, he then decided to protest. So, I mean, as it may, I leave it as be, but that's just where I'm at with that. I don't think the penalty should have been retaken, and so that kind of might, or it just puts a cloud over the Walker Cup finals. Stats, I would have tweeted yesterday, Stats unlucky. This is their fifth loss against Jamaica College. And I don't know. I know that you could see it yesterday, how disappointed the Stats players were. And I could understand, because they did have chances to win that game yesterday, and it did not have to go to penalties. But we leave it may. The results final, JC has won the Walker Cup. And so, the champions of last year's Manning Cup will still go home with a silverware this year of the Walker Cup. Moving on to the Manning Cup finals. But before we head into some, I'm going to put the Manning Cup finals into the final segment of the show. So we're going to go for a break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the Manning Cup finals, which happened yesterday, and we will preview the finals to come this afternoon. Ben Francis finals, McGrath against Froome. That's in the Ben Francis at 3 o'clock. And at 6:15, Kleinman College will play Glenmere. We'll be right back on Sports Talk.
Christmas is togetherness. Flow is giving you their best. Christmas is special savings. That's just what Flow is bringing. Christmas is the joy of giving. Flow has just what you've been wishing. Flow is a celebration. Free phone and earbuds for you.
Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up with Flow Yard and Road for only $4,999 plus GCT.
Flow makes Christmas bright and blue because it's all inspired by
Visit the Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Something smells good.
When you're cooking or baking, begin with the best. The trusted tradition of Benjamin's vanilla flavorings and colorings. Mix it, stir it, blend it all around and create something spectacular. Whether you're making cakes, custards, puddings, punches, or savory meals, Benjamin's vanilla flavorings and colorings add that special touch to everything. And here's something else special. Benjamin's ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon, anise, and mixed spice are now available in liquids.
Yes, everything tastes better with Benjamin's.
Benjamin's, a trusted name for over a century.
You're invited to join us for the 31st Annual National Prayer Vigil, Justice, Unity, Peace, Healing, under the distinguished patronage of His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, Governor General of Jamaica, Sunday, December 10, 6 p.m., East Queen Street Baptist Church, 25 East Queen Street, live on Love 101 FM, Power of Faith Television, the National Prayer Vigil, Sunday, December 10 at 6 p.m. Come and join us.
Get ready for another inspiring time inside Love in the Morning with me, your host, Jakal Dyer, this Monday, December 11. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are in the feature Becoming You. Grab your cup of coffee and we will start the day right with the morning coffee pick me up devotional at 6 a.m. And then cruise with love on your radio at 7 a.m. inside Drive Time Jammings with great music to lift your day. This week inside Being Jamaican, we talk about what Christmas is like for a yardie, a Jamaican in a whole other country. At 8:30 a.m. inside The Healthy Way, we continue our discussion on damaging effects of sugar. And then at 9:30, we wrap it up with something more brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center. Stick and stay with us. This Pick Me Up Monday inside Love in the Morning, 5 to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101. Celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
But that just get shaped up. So if
Thank you for staying with me here on the family station of 101 for Sports Talk. Right, so we go right back into what we're talking about. The Manning Cup finals took place yesterday between Mona High School and Hydel. Hydel being second-time finalists, having made their first final in 2012, and Mona being first-time finalists in this competition. And Mona won that final 1-love in what was a very interesting game, because once Mona scored in the first half of the game, Mona was in possession of the ball for an extended period of time, but in the last 10 to 15 minutes of the game, they would say, or in sports terminology, they would say Hydel threw the entire kitchen at Mona, but were not successful in getting a goal. Coach Craig Butler, I know a very, very happy man last night. Woke up a very happy man this morning. Can be a controversial type, not the most liked person, but he has taken a squad, delivered on a squad that many persons would have, when he started at Mona 3 years ago with this program, would have said, they're not going to go anywhere and nothing's going to happen, and, the talks. But he's proven that he is able to coach a schoolboy football side to a title. And so Mona has won their first title. Very, very happy. I know my sister is very, 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 very happy today. Her past school has won the schoolboy football title, and I'm just looking forward to what will come of this Mona side. I'm looking forward to what Craig Butler will do now that he's now won the title. Just looking to see if it now means that Mona will become attractive in terms of players leaving other schools to go to Mona to play. I'm looking to see that type of dynamic. But congratulations to Mona and to the entire staff, entire school, and also to Jamaica College, would have won the Walker Cup, stamping their ground as in football supremacy, as they are a very, very good footballing school. And to be able to come away with a silverware is still good for a program that, is, well, would have had some changes in their program. But as the defending champions of the Manning Cup would have walked away with the Walker Cup. So that's not bad. That's not bad for a season. I mean, I'm sure that wasn't the goal, but I'm sure, Craig Butler spoke from day one, he wanting Mona to win and Mona doing well. And eventually, Mona became champions. And so hats off to Craig Butler again and the team. Job well done. Some people say he will become unbearable now. Well, let's just get ready for it. Because he's talk the talk and he's walk the walk. So we can't bash him. We have to give him at least next year until next year this time. Right. We have to give him until next year this time before, we get a break. But we we are stuck with, him for now. But that's fine. Congratulations to him and the team there at Mona. So yeah, it was a good finals. I enjoyed it. Entertaining finals. And it was just good overall. Good football. Again, good surface produces good football. Hint, hint. Right. Good football. Coming up this afternoon, though, we will have the rural area schools play their finals. So Froome will go up against McGrath in the Ben Francis final, which I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the rural area schools there. It's not like in the urban area, as we had discussed this last week. The rural area, I mean, they really go really, really hard. And it's a little bit closer in terms of the competitions, in terms of the schools, and there's a little disparity as relates to the urban area schools. There are some teams that will stand out every year, but in rural area, you just don't know which school will come to the fore. As seen in the Ben Francis finals, McGrath against Froome. So that match should be interesting. That match comes up at 3:00. And then the finals of the Da Costa Cup will kick off at 6:15. It would be, again, the clash of the Clarendonian school, Clarendon College versus Glenmuir. Of course, it's now 1-1 apiece as it relates to the two teams. So they would have met in the quarterfinal round of the Da Costa Cup. Clarendon would have won that match last week, Saturday. Glenmuir would have won in the Champions Cup final. And so this is the best of three between these two sides, Clarendon and Glenmuir. I am looking forward to an exciting match again. Clarendon will be without one of their defenders who would have picked up a red card last week in the Champions Cup. So we'll see how it is that Coach Lenny Hyde will restructure that back four to which I think would have been one of his leading defenders for the season. So let's see how Coach Lenny Hyde restructures, and let's see how Andrew Peart comes again with Cummins and the other forwards that play brilliant football. Let me tell you, brilliant football. Just two exciting teams, Andrew Peart, younger to Lenny Hyde, but both very special in terms of their knowledge of football, in their culture of football. You can see that these two schools are two cultured football schools. You can see that it's some classroom work was done. It's not just on the pitch. You can think about the psychological and all of that. You can see that these teams have invested and these coaches have invested as it relates to their squad, and just looking forward to the rematch. Of course, Glenmere having already won the silverware, I'm sure will be going, still have a chance, the only school that still has a chance to win the Triple Crown. So I'm sure they will be keeping that in mind. And of course, Clarendon College, they are the defending champions of the Da Costa Cup, rather, and they will be looking to defend their crown. The Triple Crown is no longer on the line for them, but I'm sure they'll be looking forward to defend their crown, and that is what will make the competition this afternoon, that finals this afternoon, to be, I would say, I don't want to say it's going to be better than the game we had last week Saturday, but I'm sure the fight will be greater from the boys. I'm not going to say the game will be better because, boy, it's hard to live up to that to the Champions Cup finals that happened last week. Very, very hard. I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'd be surprised though if they're able to play at the same quality. But not surprised because these two teams, they do have quality. They have the quality, and so that is what makes me just want to bask in the moment of the games, just feeling so the excitement that it's now the best of three, and one trying to defend the title, one still trying to, or one will still be able to, or in contention to be the only school this season to win the Triple Crown. It's just exciting. So looking forward to that. As I would have said last week, if you can, please check out the games. My against Froome, that comes up at 3, and then the finals. So that's the Ben Francis, the Da Costa Cup finals. That's Clarendon College against Glenmure, and that will come up at 6:15. Wherever you can watch it, go and watch it. Listen, I'm sure the match, if you took my advice last week to watch the game, I'm sure you're not disappointed, and I'm sure both sides will not disappoint in their delivery and in their performance this afternoon to evening. It was a great time had today on Sports Talk. Sports Talk takes place every Saturday between the hours of 1 and 2 p.m. right here on the family station. My name is Kathya. And if you are interested in talking about sports, anything sports, we talk about here. If you'd like a topic for us to discuss, you can send us a WhatsApp at 876-997-3125 or send us a message on our Facebook and YouTube page. Good afternoon to those who joined us on Sports Talk: Paulette Stevenson, Kevin Davis, Sonia Brown, Patricia Gates says Mona to the world. Wow, we have some Mona fans listening. Calvin Figueroa, Glenoy Curry, thank you all for making this show possible. Thank you for listening, and to those listening to Love 101.1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you for tuning to Sports Talk. Again, we do this every Saturday, 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101. Thank you so much for tuning to Sports Talk. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Go watch the games. Go watch the games.